Small businesses are not small. They keep you pumped. They keep you learning. They keep you healthy. They keep you stylish. They keep you fed. Happy birthday to you. They keep you smiling. We can do all of this because they keep us moving. At UBA, we keep your small business moving because your business is big business. Ready to get moving?
Safe now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend. Next gen me, I represent. Safe now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend.
We came to get the party started. If it's not united, why you banking? I got cash and it's never tarnished. Tryna water the grass just like my garden. Make it make sense, I get sense on sense. If I wanna go in, it depends on fresh. If I want to buy flats, I go flex my check. That one will be step by step. Step in and we move it. I text Leo, say Jai, it's okay. We the pioneers, we the ones who the don'ts wanna come near. Next gen kings, we the next best thing. Shout out to chairman.
Next gen me, I represent. Safe now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend. Next gen me, I represent. Safe now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend.
Let's get it.
Do you know you can't open UBA bumper account and every 5K where you add you get double your chance to get bumped up. Best, big, and get bumped up. With every 5K you get bumped up. Best, big, and get bumped up.
Life is about steps. You know that cycle? We all do. From the first steps the building steps, to the defining steps. But what about the steps within the steps? The steps that lead to purpose. The baby steps to growth. The steps that ensure financial independence. The steps that give us assurance. All the steps within the steps are possible with the UBA Kiddies, Teens, and Next Gen account.
Small businesses are not small. They keep you pumped. They keep you learning. They keep you healthy. They keep you stylish. They keep you fed. Happy birthday to you. They keep you smiling. We can do all of this because they keep us moving. At UBA, we keep your small business moving because your business is big business. Ready to get moving?
Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend. Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Don't pay all the money you go and spend.
We came to get the party started. If it's not united, why you banking? I got cash and it's never tarnished. Tryna water the grass just like my garden. Make it make sense, I get sense on sense. If I wanna go in, it depends on fresh. If I want to buy flats, I go flex my check. That one will be step by step. Step in and we move it. I text Leo, say Jai, it's okay. We the pioneers, we the ones who the don't wanna come near. Next gen kings, we the next best thing. Shout out to chairman.
Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend. Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend.
Let's get it. Day-to-day, gang. Hotel Bank of Africa.
know that cycle. We all do. From the first steps to the building steps to the defining steps. But what about the steps within the steps? The steps that lead to purpose. The baby steps to growth. The steps that ensure financial independence. The steps that give us assurance. All the steps within the steps are possible with the UBA Kiddies, Teens, and Next Gen account.
Small businesses are not small. They keep you pumped. They keep you learning. They keep you healthy. They keep you stylish. They keep you fed. Happy birthday to you. They keep you smiling. We can do all of this because they keep us moving. At UBA, we keep your small business moving because your business is big business. Ready to get moving?
Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend. Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Don't pay all the money you go and spend.
We came to get the party started. If it's not united, why you banking? I got cash and it's never tarnished. Tryna water the grass just like my garden. Make it make sense, I get sense on sense. If I wanna go in, it depends on fresh. If I want to buy flats, I go flex my check. That one will be step by step. Step in and we move it. I text Leo, say Jai, it's okay. We the pioneers, we the ones who the don'ts wanna come near. Next gen kings, we the next best thing. Shout out to Chairman.
Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend. Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend.
Let's get it. Hotel Bank of Africa. Do you know you can open UBA bumper account and every 5K where you add, you double your chance to get bumped.
about steps. You know that cycle? We all do. From the first steps to the building steps to the defining steps. But what about the steps within the steps? The steps that lead to purpose. The baby steps to growth. The steps that ensure financial independence. The steps that give us assurance. All the steps within the steps are possible with the UBA Kiddies, Teens, and Next Gen account.
Small businesses are not small. They keep you pumped. They keep you learning. They keep you healthy. They keep you stylish. They keep you fed. Happy birthday to you. They keep you smiling. We can do all of this because they keep us moving. At UBA, we keep your small business moving because your business is big business. Ready to get moving?
Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend. Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Don't pay all the money you go and spend.
We came to get the party started. If it's not united, why you banking? I got cash and it's never tarnished. Tryna water the grass just like my garden. Make it make sense, I get sense on sense. If I wanna go in, it depends on fresh. If I want to buy flats, I go flex my check. That one will be step by step. Step in and we moving. I text Leo, say Jai, it's okay. We the pioneers, we the ones who the don'ts wanna come near. Next gen kings, we the next best thing. Shout out to chairman.
Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend. Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend.
Let's get it. Day-to-day gang. Hotel, man, go back.
about steps. You know that cycle? We all do. From the first steps to the building steps to
Small businesses are not small. They keep you pumped. They keep you learning. They keep you healthy. They keep you stylish. They keep you fed. Happy birthday to you. They keep you smiling. We can do all of this because they keep us moving. At UBA, we keep your small business moving because your business is big business. Ready to get moving?
started. If it's not united, why you banking? I got cash and it's never tarnished. Tryna water the grass just like my garden. Make it make sense, I get sense on sense. If I wanna go in, it depends on fresh. If I want to buy flats, I go flex my check. That one will be step by step. Step in and we move it. I text Leo, say Jai, it's okay. We the pioneers, we the ones who the don'ts wanna come near. Next gen kings, we the next best thing. Shout out to chairman.
Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend. Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend.
Let's get it. Do you know you can open UBA bumper account and every 5K where you add, you get double your chance to get bumped up. Break, and get bumped up. Aye, with every 5K you get bumped up. Break, and
Life is about steps. You know that cycle? We all do. From the first steps to the building steps to the defining steps. But what about the steps within the steps? The steps that lead to purpose. The baby steps to growth. The steps that ensure financial independence. The steps that give us assurance. All the steps within the steps are possible with the UBA Kiddies, Teens, and Next Gen account.
Small businesses are not small. They keep you pumped. They keep you learning. They keep you healthy. They keep you stylish. They keep you fed. Happy birthday to you. They keep you smiling. We can do all of this because they keep us moving. At UBA, we keep your small business moving because your business is big business. Ready to get moving?
Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend. Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Don't pay all the money you go and spend.
We came to get the party started. If it's not united, why you banking? I got cash and it's never tarnished. Tryna water the grass just like my garden. Make it make sense, I get sense on sense. If I wanna go in, it depends on fresh. If I want to buy flats, I go flex my check. That one will be step by step. Step in and we moving. I text Leo, say Jai, it's okay. We the pioneers, we the ones who the dons wanna come near. Next gen kings, we the next best thing. Shout out to chairman.
Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend. Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend, tell your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend.
Let's get it. Day-to-day gang. Hotel Bank of Africa. Do you know you can open UBA bumper account and every 5K where you add it, they double your chance to get bumped up. Break, and get bumped up. With every 5K you get bumped up. Break, and
Life is about steps. You know that cycle? We all do. From the first steps to the building steps to the defining steps. But what about the steps within the steps? The steps that lead to purpose. The baby steps to growth. The steps that ensure financial independence. that give us assurance. All the steps within the steps are possible with the UBA Kiddies, Teens, and Next Gen account.
Small businesses are not small. They keep you pumped. They keep you learning. They keep you healthy. They keep you stylish. They keep you fed. Happy birthday to you. They keep you smiling. We can do all of this because they keep us moving. At UBA, we keep your small business moving because your business is big business. Ready to get moving?
Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend that your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend. Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend that your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend.
We came to get the party started. If it's not united, why you banking? I got cash and it's never tarnished. Tryna watch the grass just like my garden. Make it make sense, I get sense on sense. If I wanna go in, it depends on fresh. If I want to buy flats, I go flex my check. That one will be step by step. Step in and we move it. I text Leo, say Jai, it's okay. We the pioneers, we the ones who the don'ts wanna come near. Next gen kings, we the next best thing. Shout out to chairman.
Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend that your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend. Next gen me, I represent. Save now, let that go make sense. Tell your best friend that your girlfriend. Don't pay all the money you go and spend.
Let's get it. Day-to-day gang. Hotel Bank of Africa.
about steps. You know that cycle? We all do. From the first steps to the building steps.
I. And then say something nice. Say something nice beyond greeting, something nice to the person. Okay. Okay. And then when it's all said and done, does something nice you said to the person translate so that the person would say, I did something unusual. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. So some of you wouldn't want to be in my position. When we were singing the anthem, I didn't know whether to look straight with the chairman looking at me or to look left with the GMD looking at me. And then Muyiwa even helped. He looked up. And then I was not wondering whether I should look at my phone or stand straight. So his anthem. So I had to stand straight. You close your eyes, you open your eyes. It was a long anthem. So you're welcome once again. In our midst, we have distinguished executives. Leading the pack and the pride is our group chairman, Tony Elumelu, CFR. You give him a round of applause. Also, we have our host, the group managing director and CEO of Africa's Global Bank, UBA, Oliver Lauber. Sitting right beside him is the able group deputy managing director, UBA. Muyiwa King, the name almost. And right beside him is our gentleman, E.D. Uwogodo. And my executive director, the Minister of Happiness, Alex Alozie. We also have the executive director and CEO, Africa, Abiola Beiwa. I led the correct pronunciation yesterday. And we also have the CEOs and executives from the Hes Holdings Group. If I start calling all of you, we won't leave here today. So permit me to just say HH Group, covering Transcorp, Hes Life, Hes Assurance, Transcorp Hotels. Who have I forgotten? Africa Prudential. Don't do KPI on me today. That's why I said I don't want to. Avon HMO, you all know yourselves. And also to the UBA executives, EXCO members, and also we have gentlemen of the press, staff of UBA the world over. You're all welcome, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is time to have the opening remarks to be delivered by our Group Managing Director, Oliver Lauber. Put your hands together for him. Thank you.
Wow. Good afternoon to our group chairman, Mr. Tony Elumelu, members of the executive management team, our distinguished and accomplished panelists, and I'm sure later they'll be properly introduced. All invited guests, members of and CEOs of the HH Holdings that are here, our highly esteemed customers, the essence of our business, all executives and staff of UBA, lions and lionesses of UBA. It is my privilege and honor to welcome all of you to this Day Conversations 2023, which is part of our annual Africa Day celebrations. May is the month of the year when the beauty, the talents, the diversity, the culture, the warmth, the food of Africa is celebrated. UBA, Africa's Global Bank, is highly committed to Africa becoming the continent of the future. So in the month of May is a month of fun for UBA. Everyone looks up to the month of May because by tomorrow, I believe even our dressings will change. The food will change. The colors of UBA will change, and it will be fun all the way. So we look forward to this because we believe Africa needs to be celebrated. Our culture and our uniqueness of Africa needs to be celebrated. This year's celebration, we themed it Innovating Africa, which reflects United Nations and Africa Union's themes of innovation, technology, and the need to create opportunities on the continent. I believe the theme for this year is very apt to the challenges and economic problems that Africa is going through now in a world of turmoil. But the plight of African challenge, the iron of the situation is that in Africa, we have challenges, we also have opportunities sitting side by side. Now, between the opportunities and the challenges can be a gap. How big the gap is actually the conversation. If you think the gap between the challenges and Africa is huge, then the conversation will take too long. But for us in UBA, we believe that between the challenges and the opportunities is a thin line. And we are committed to unlocking the opportunities in order to fill up those challenges. This year too, we are believing that women of Africa needs to be celebrated. And we think for us to unlock those challenges, we must empower African women to be critical stakeholders in the development agenda for Africa. So today, we have carefully chosen this conversation to celebrate and to celebrate the achievements of African women. So you're going to have a panel today that will really amaze you and give you the confidence that we are on the right path to development. In UBA 2, we will continue to develop products that speak to the challenges that African women are going through in their businesses and in their workplace. You would like to know that in UBA, we are the highest, we are the bank with the highest number of female directors on the board. Over 50% of our board members are females. And out of those females, we have 3 executive directors that are females. In fact, for the first time in the life of UBA, we have the ED CEO of UBA Africa being a female, Abiola Bauer. And she's one of the panelists that you're going to hear ideas hear about today. So we know that in Africa, we have a continent of vast opportunities, talents, resources that we need to unlock. So we, as individuals, as corporate, we need to collaborate with each other to innovate and create the change needed to develop this continent. The time to develop it is now. The people to develop it are we here. And like our group chairman will always say, no one but us can develop Africa. I believe that the founders of African Union, our founding fathers, had today in mind and had us in mind in all their discussions when they believed that a time would come. That time, again, I do say is now, when we take up the challenge to develop this continent for ourselves and for our future generation. In UBA, if you take a look, at our statements, vision statements, and mission statements, you would see two critical words. Those words are Africa and institution. So our institution is more than a bank. UBA is more than a bank. We have a mission to change Africa. We have a mission to change the world. And we believe that once we change Africa, we will indeed change the world. So I invite you to relax and listen to the panelists today. Take a note on those take-homes you'll be able to take to your houses, to your homes, to your people, and begin to do changes that will impact positively to our dear continent, Africa. Thank you for listening to me, and may God bless you. I wish you a fruitful conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, GMD, for that great and inspiring speech. It is my pleasure to bring to stage one of Africa's creative arts, a poet, and a leading voice on the continent. Let's make welcome 𝐂𝐞𝐥𝐞𝐥𝐞 for the spoken word.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's such an honor to be here. Chairman, Mr. Tony Elumelu, GMD, such an amazing speech. The fact that to our distinguishable guests, I do honor this platform. Alex from Madagascar, this is Africa and we will not be quiet. See, the food of an indigenous African can make a child in its mother's belly dance, pounce, dance, the kwasa kwasa or akeda. Bury its feet in Afrobeats as it gyrates to the rhythm of the talking drum, the taste of bonichao or wache. See, we have the resources in our hands, advanced technology in our palms. Inside our head, content full. You are the code that can decode Nigeria's malaria and typhoid. You are the solution to nation to play forward, and you do it well like Samuel Eto'o. You are a global Arsenal, and I'm not talking Alex Iwobi. See, I want to believe you scored more goals than Saka. You're legendary like Didier Drogba. You fight through like Israel Adesanya with the competence of Hilda. Best say like say you be Jackie Chan. Blow your trumpet like it's the judgment day. See visions like saying you and Angel Gabriel day. You speak different languages, but we all interpret it of leadership. You are the key to unlock great ecological inventions. You're number one, and I'm not talking Amazon. See, I speak for a handful, that we are the future. But to fear the future is to be fearful of freedom. Let true independence speak in our hearts. Let women occupy spaces in sectors set to segregate. Let the youth, old, blind, and alive receive an awakening that we are the future. And no time for time travel when the time has already begun. Thank you.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That was, do I say awesome? Inspiring, thought-provoking. What other words? What other words? Thank you, 𝐂𝐞𝐥𝐞𝐥𝐿. A round of applause for her once again. Thank you so, so much. Wow, the spoken word. So it is time. It is time. It is time to have the special event, the special session for which we have all gathered. The Africa Conversation proper. The panel session, to be moderated by my friend and brother, my chale, all the way from the city of Accra, a seasoned broadcaster, and the head marketing and corporate communications, UBA Ghana, Henry Dote. Chale Akwaba, how are you doing?
I'm good, yeah.
Oh,
Who teach you that tree? But thanks for the amala yesterday. Your recommendation was really good. I enjoyed it.
Thank God it was not jollof.
but you know Ghana jollof is better.
Nigeria jollof.
Ghana jollof, Nigeria jollof.
Nigeria jollof. All right, Henry, take us on the journey through this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, we'll bring Ghana jollof here, and the audience here would attest to the fact that Ghana jollof is indeed the best. Thank you very much, our audience here, those joining us online. Welcome to the UBA Africa Conversations 2023. Those joining the conversation online, the hashtag to use is UBA Africa Conversation or UBA Innovate Africa. Join us, let's share the word, let's share the link. Invite somebody to join this conversation because we are doing this for Africa. Today, we are here to discuss or talk about the theme, Innovating Africa for Growth. Innovating Africa for Growth. I will have an array of panelists, an all-female panel who are going to do justice to this topic. Innovation, we say, have no end. It has no beginning and end. It's gone through various stages. These panelists we have broken the glass ceilings. They've excelled in their own areas of endeavors. I'm sure that if you follow the conversations today, you're going to have an amazing time. Drop your questions ahead. Send us your comments on the hashtag UBA Africa Conversations or UBA Innovate Africa, and our panelists will do justice to them. Now, let's meet our panelists.
𝐂𝐞𝐥𝐞𝐥𝐞𝐿 Gbadamosi. 𝐂𝐿𝐞𝐥 is an experienced professional with 2 decades of experience building high-impact teams and leveraging technology for business and social challenges. She is currently the Executive Director of Junior Achievement Nigeria, focused on advancing multiple UN social development goals. 𝐂𝐿𝐞𝐥 is passionate about digital transformation, tech literacy, and sustainable practices that will drive economic success in Africa. She serves on multiple boards and is a Gallup certified strengths coach. 𝐂𝐿𝐞𝐥 also facilitates courses on strengths, digital transformation, technology, and leadership. 𝐂𝐿𝐞𝐥 is an author and has been recognized with several awards and featured in several thought leadership articles. She has a bachelor's degree in computer science and a master's degree in management information systems. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we welcome 𝐂𝐿𝐞𝐥 Gbadamosi.
Hello, my lady.
Hello.
You're welcome.
Even though I'm going to fight you. You're telling us that Ghanaian jollof is better in Nigeria.
It is now.
We're going to have a competition.
I'm up,
to make the Ghanaian jollof.
I'm up for the challenge.
Hilda is here, by the way.
I'm up for the challenge. Thank you for joining us this morning. Let's meet our next panelist.
𝐂𝐿𝐴 Bassey, also known as Hilda Bassey, is a multi-talented foodpreneur renowned for her amazing homemade tasty recipes. Hilda is also a TV producer, actress, and presenter, a graduate of sociology from Madonna University, Okija. She is the founder of My Food by Hilda, an excellent restaurant and delivery service for African and continental dishes. Her mother's culinary techniques influenced Hilda's foray into catering before establishing My Food with her brother as a student. She started My Food by Hilda in February 2022 with a tiny apartment in Ikate and has never looked back. Hilda is a humanitarian who encourages and empowers other talents through her culinary journey. Hilda has trained over 2,500 students, giving prizes and incentives to the best performing students. She believes that everyone deserves well-prepared meals. During the COVID-19 pandemic, she provided over 3,000 meals to less privileged communities for social impact. Ladies and gentlemen, please a warm welcome for Hilda Bassey.
Welcome, Hilda.
Thank you.
So, tell me, how did you manage to get the whole world up for 4 days and some hours?
Let's just say it's God.
It is God. Thank you very much, Hilda, for joining us. Please, let us welcome our third panelist.
Abiola Beiwa. Abiola is currently Executive Director, CEO Africa for United Bank for Africa. She joined UBA Ghana in 2013 as Deputy Managing Director and was elevated to serve as the MD CEO of UBA Ghana in January 2014. Abiola in March 2018 was appointed Regional CEO West Africa 1, responsible for 6 subsidiaries. Her responsibility was expanded to 9 African countries in West Africa when she was appointed Regional CEO West Africa in 2020. Abiola has worked at different times with other reputable banks, which has contributed to her enormous wealth of experience in wholesale and retail banking, as well as credit management. She holds a BSc in Actuarial Science from the University of Lagos, Nigeria, an LLB from the University of London, a diploma in marketing from GIMPA, and an executive MBA finance from the University of Ghana. She is an alumnus of Harvard Business School, Columbia University in New York, INSEAD, and Institut Villa Pierrefeu in Switzerland, where she has numerous leadership training. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we welcome Abiola Beiwa.
Welcome, ma. Thank you very much for joining us. If you're ready, let's meet our fourth panelist.
𝐂𝐞𝐥𝐞𝐿 𝐂𝐸. At the age of 19, 𝐂𝐞𝐥𝐞 graduated from Central St. Martin's College and then Chelsea College of Art and Design, having gained a bachelor's degree in textiles. Prior to launching her eponymous label, 𝐂𝐞𝐥 worked at a number of international fashion houses and with leading interior company, Designers Guild, assisting with fabric design for the Royal Collection, which was showcased at Buckingham Palace. She also launched an interior design arm to her business, which attracted orders from prestigious customers such as Selfridges, Ainhill Park Hotel, Oxford, Le Bon Marché, Paris, and Bazaar et Garde-Manger, Tokyo. In 2019, 𝐂𝐞𝐥𝐶 opened her Lagos boutique for women, where she debuted her first women's wear and accessories collection. This was followed by the launch of her e-commerce store in 2020 and inclusion of children's wear in 2021. 𝐂𝐞𝐥𝐶's designs have been featured in leading publications around the world, from Stylist magazine, where she was described as one of the best female designers of 2021, Vogue, Marie Claire UK, and High Snobiety. The designer was invited to host a pop-up at the prestigious Soho House in London in 2021. The sold-out event was described as one of their most successful fashion pop-up yet. The launch of the Jungle Fever collection attracted interest from online retailer Moda Operandi, and was selected to showcase at Dubai Expo 2020 with Arise Fashion Week, where her designs were worn by top models Alton Mason and Naomi Campbell. Please put your hands together as we welcome 𝐂𝐞𝐥𝐞𝐥𝐞𝐥𝐿.
Oh, you can do better. She's not here yet. Keep tapping. Welcome, 𝐂𝐞𝐥𝐞. So when I started something for the men as well, as you can see. So you're going to do something special for... All right. Thank you very much, 𝐂𝐞𝐥𝐞, for joining us. And now to our final panelist for today.
𝐂𝐿𝐴𝐷𝐿𝐴. Owen joined TransCore as the Executive Director, Corporate Services in July 2018 and was later appointed as the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of TransCore Hotels PLC, leading the brand's operation of its flagship TransCore Hotel Abuja and TransCore Hotels Calabar as Director. In March 2020, she became the President, Chief Executive Officer of TransCore. After her appointment to the role, she became the youngest CEO on the Nigerian Stock Exchange and also the youngest and first female to occupy the position at TransCore Group. Owen is a member of the Board of Trustees of the Association of Power Generation Companies in Nigeria, an association for power generation companies representing the interests of developers and operators of independent energy facilities. She holds non-executive director positions in various companies, including TransCore Power Limited, TransCore Hotels PLC, and Avon Healthcare Limited, where she sits on the board's Finance, Investment, and Risk Committee, as well as the Audit and Governance Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as we welcome 𝐂𝐿𝐴𝐷𝐿𝐴.
Hello, Owen. Thank you. Thanks for grading my stage. Please put your hands together for this beautiful and amazing woman right here. So let's get right into the conversations, innovating the continent for growth. And in your various fields, you've done amazing stuff. What has been the role of innovation in driving you to the feats that you have chalked? And I'm sure we can start with Abiola Beiwa.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, GMD, directors, colleagues. Good morning to Africa. Innovation, for me, is changing the status quo positively. That's what it means. And adding value to whatever you meet and moving it to the next level. Now, bringing it to my context as the CEO of Africa, I think that innovation is, from today's team, is about adding value. It's about moving Africa to the next level. It's about ensuring that our customers in Africa now have what we call experience. It's no longer about ordinary customer service. It's about them having the experience, lifting the customer service to the zenith of services. That is what it means. And also, looking across Africa, I'm sure you agree with me that cultures are different across board. So as CEO in charge of 19 countries, my question is, how do I introduce the service such that all the 19 countries at the same time simultaneously will be on the same level as PLC? How do we ensure that there is no division, there is no gap in the service that we give out? How do we ensure that in the next 1 year, everybody in Africa will see as the gateway to Africa? That is what innovation is to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Foluso, so coming to you, you've been in business and tech. How has, with all the evolution of AI technologies and everything, what has it been for you that distinguishes you from the rest?
That distinguishes me from the rest? That's an interesting question. Okay, when I think about innovation, let me kind of just start there. I think about positive change. I think about people like us being catalysts to bring transformation onto the continent. Innovation is not something that, it's almost like part of human evolution, right? So I noticed that many of you guys use iPhones, because I don't. That's why I said you guys. And I remember in Yes, Android all the way. In 2017, when Steve Jobs came up with the iPhone, it was the very first phone to be all touchscreen, right? And people were like, we have to use keypad. As in, how can you create a phone that is all touchscreen? And because of what he did, is there anybody here with a phone that doesn't have all touchscreen? I think most of our phones are now all touchscreen. So when I think about innovation, it's not necessarily because there's anything wrong with what we were doing. It's just that we have to do something better or we have to evolve. And so for me, it's always about evolution. Part of why I'm where I am today, where I run an organization that empowers the youth, is because of evolution and innovation. We have 70% youth population in Nigeria. There's no innovation without 70% youth. I mean, they are the whole population. Many of us here, no shade to anybody, do not fall within the 70%, no matter what we tell ourselves, right? And so for me, innovation is being very, very intentional about bringing positive change to that 70% so that they can then bring forth what the continent needs to get to where it needs to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Owen, you've been in infrastructure, in hospitality, and an impressive figure that was presented there. I mean, how have you sustained the pace with innovation?
So good afternoon, everyone, and kudos to my fellow panelists. It was really breathtaking listening to your resumes. Innovation, simply put, is survival. Basically, innovate or die. Charles Darwin talked about survival of the fittest, 1868. It's never more real than where we are today. Once upon a time, they taught us of the VUCA world, volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. I think whoever came up with VUCA needs to go back and reassess it, because the word that he or she thought was VUCA at the time was one that was really, really predictable. In 2020, we had the greatest disruption that I dare say anybody alive today ever experienced, and that was the COVID-19 pandemic that totally changed our lives the way we knew it and the way we thought it was going to be. A lot of people were threatened, survival, businesses, and for us at Transcorp, and actually the wider Heirs Holdings Group, because really a very great woman, we saw it as an opportunity to grow. They are told never waste a good crisis. And you see with our hospitality business, despite the dip that happened during the pandemic, you've seen, if you follow Transcorp's story, you see that we've had tremendous growth, sustained, and it continues to grow in double digits. So you look at it from innovation, you innovate, you survive. And now that the world is getting more digital, you also have to continue to see how do you adapt, how do you modify your products, your services, your contact points in a way that you continue to engage with that key person that is in mind, and that touches what the GMD said earlier on, your customer. Thank you.
Thank you, Banky. So now to you. I mean, fashion, we all know different styles and different things coming up. Of course, you've got to be innovative to survive in fashion. But really, is that the case?
Yes, it's very important to be innovative, especially with the way the world is moving. And I started my fashion business at a time where we had literally just gone into lockdown, so I had invested so much money in building this factory and having the store and investing in stock, and then suddenly we all had to, stay at home. And I had brought out a homeware line, well, a loungewear line to complement my interiors, and we had to get online. We had to get a website. We had to start selling online, and you just have to keep moving with life. So you have to be innovative with your design, and also behind the scenes in terms of production, you have to be innovative in terms of how you produce. Make sure like your production line really matches your environment. So you're constantly thinking of different ideas on every single level of your business. So customer facing, production, employees. So you're always innovating.
Hilda, I like food. I enjoyed Amala yesterday. And I'm sure I'll be tasting something from your kitchen soon. But really, where from all this food? I mean, food is food that we eat. How is innovation connected to food in any way? I mean, really.
Just like what she said, innovation is pretty much survival. And talking about it from a business point of view, you're in business and you want to be sustainable. And to be sustainable means you have to keep thinking of ways to meet your customers at the point of their need. Because again, needs are constantly arising and they're constantly changing. So one minute I want food to be delivered to my doorstep. Another minute I want to be able to go to a place and get it. Another minute I want to eat late in the night. You know, so you have to keep thinking, and you have to think as a business person, as a consumer, what exactly is it that you need? Or what exactly can you do to make things much easier? So down to like your recipes. We find situations where you know that something doesn't last as long when you make it, so you have to think of a different recipe, you know, to make it last longer, or you need to take out a particular ingredient because, you know, so you have to constantly keep thinking about ways to give value to your customers so that you stay sustainable, your business is alive, and you don't end up going back to the village. So, you know, at the end of the day, like, if you want to survive in the business world, it's important that you're constantly thinking of ways to make life easier for the people that you're providing a service to or you're selling a product to.
Wow. That's good. So, I mean, like, UBA has been on the forefront of, I mean, many indigenous, you know, projects. Now, you being the very first female CEO of a commercial bank in Ghana, continue to become CEO West Africa, and become the first CEO of UBA Africa. And not only that, but as a Ghanaian, being the CEO for Africa, how does innovation help you to drive financial inclusion on the African continent?
Thank you. I think this question should have directed it to Chairman. But I think that I will want to use the opportunity to thank the group chairman, my GMD, because I do remember that in 2013, it was a strange idea for a lady to be CEO, if you were in Ghana then. And given the opportunity, I was everywhere. Every TV station was interviewing me. So in itself, I think that our chairman is the innovator in Africa. And I want us to use the opportunity to thank him. It was strange. I seriously remember the first day I got a call. I didn't understand the message actually until I spoke to my current GMD. I said, what did he mean? I should come and drop GMD. What does that mean? It was not part of the dream, because once you get to DMD, you have reached. So that itself for me is an innovation, to be given the opportunity as a female. So I spoke to myself. I said, this man is tempting me. I have to succeed. So I sat down, spoke to myself. I said, Abiola, you need to do it well so that it will open opportunity for others. And I'm glad that he found that, and then more women were appointed as CEO in UBA. And you can see that a lot of banks follow suit in Ghana. Today, people are trying to get that position. So I was then given RCO West Africa. And I told the same. I said, look, what men can do, women can do. So the better will come later. So I did that. And then I think that I didn't disappoint my bosses, because I kept telling myself that this is an opportunity. They are looking at something. They think women can do it, so you can do it. So in short, I think that what has happened in UBA for me is a complete innovation of ideas, changing the status quo, telling the girl child, you can make it. And I do get a lot of invitation from even government institution in Ghana, asking me what happened, what were you doing, what is it about you that made you to be given that opportunity? There is nothing unique about me. It is the entrepreneurship spirit of the chairman that decided to give me that opportunity. And once I took it, I seized the opportunity, I ran with it. Today, I'm the CEO Africa. I'm asking myself, I'm a glad Ghanaian. I know that for any other African to see this, the reason in giving me this opportunity, I need to run with it. So I said, okay, the shoe that Oliver left is so big, I need to quickly grow my feet to fit into them. So I'm running. and I will deliver in Jesus' name.
Amen. Owen, so you had a multi-level organization, and you are looking at growing, you're looking at new markets, and all of that. Now, what should we expect of the Transcorp story? And after the Afram gas plant project that you are on, what next? And what is the role of innovation in all of the things that you are doing?
So to answer this question, I think I should tell you what the purpose of Transcorp is. Improving lives, transforming Africa. The concept of improvement means you keep on going, you keep on reinventing yourself, you keep on innovating. Today, we are in the power, hospitality, and the oil and gas sectors. And very modestly, but a tinge of pride, do I say we are the clear leaders in that space. But you know what's interesting about being number one?
Tell me.
What's the next position? You have to stay there.
Stay number one.
You have to stay number one. And it's quite an innovative style of thinking to continue to disrupt yourself when you are number one. And that's what guides us in what we do. So first of all, in our existing sector, we continue to expand, deepen, exploit, optimize our existing investments. So you see, let's look at our hospitality business. Who's been to the Transcorp Hilton Abuja? Or should I say who's not? It might be easier to say who's not enjoyed the delightful Transcorp Hilton Abuja. It might be easier to say so. We're leading. But as part of our innovation, we've looked at the market and realized that there's a gap somewhere. Today, Abuja's largest conference center takes about 1,350 people. Compare that to Lagos, compare that to Rwanda, South Africa, Dubai. Meanwhile, what is Abuja? The political capital of Africa's greatest nation, Nigeria. So we decided to correct that. So right now, we are building a 5,000 capacity event center in Abuja, world class. We continue to innovate, we continue to expand. And that's what led us to our Aura by Transcorp Hotels, where you are simply, you open your mind when you go to that platform. I am Nigerian, born, bred, raised, very proudly so. And through Aura, I've discovered places that I didn't even know existed in Nigeria. I urge you, if you've not done so, do download the app and give us your feedback on what's going on in there. Then power. Don't hang on. Power. Who grew up here saying, up NEPA? Power. No, I dare say Oliver, Muyiwa, Abiola, they will argue with me. Because we're taught that what is king? Cash is king. Hold your cash in the darkness now. Let's see how it will go. It won't work. So power has become the lifeblood, and it's going to be a game changer for Africa. And that's why Transcorp is in there. In addition to the Afam gas power, Afam 3 fast power that was just commissioned, 240 megawatts, that can actually power 2 million homes and more. We have extended into the distribution space because we need to ensure that the last mile, we're getting to the end. Because that has been part of some of the challenges we've seen. If you follow the story of power, we have excess capacity. And with our excess capacity, because we are for Africa, we also export part of our power to West Africa. But we need to see how we would improve on the distribution infrastructure so you can get your power. Remember the day I came to your place, I believe there was a generator running somewhere, polluting, tearing the ozone layer. We don't need that. We want to reach you. And we'll continue to look for sectors that align with our purpose of improving lives and transforming Africa.
Improving lives, transforming Africa. If you're joining us, this is the UBA Africa Conversations. Drop your questions, put your comments in the chat. Our distinguished panelists will address them as we go on. Folusho, Chief Encouragement Officer. Now, which one be that?
Is that the question?
Yes. I mean, I want to understand the concept of Chief Encouragement Officer.
Okay, so, I mean, that's what I call myself on Instagram, and it's because that's what I see myself as. So I do a bunch of different things. and I think I already said it with the earlier question, that I really see myself as a positive force for change within the continent. And so there's nothing I do that is not related to that, right? Now, I do that using technology, obviously, because that's my background. And so for me, it's really about how do we, so Owen has said some really fantastic things about what you guys are doing in power. And listen, I can't wait for the pollution to stop. Do you guys, are we together? We cannot wait for the pollution to stop, and it's so amazing to see how, I think ultimately, if we all come together and solve our problems ourselves, we can actually get to the destination. But back to the point about Chief Encouragement Officer, so that's all I do. I believe that every single thing I do has to ultimately encourage somebody to become their best self, right? I spoke about working with the youth. If you educate the people that need to be educated and you are able to give them the tools that they need for positive change, then we'll get to our destination. And so that's why I call myself the Chief Encouragement Officer, sir.
Thank you, Ma. So let me come to you, Hilda. I mean, you've been doing food. At UBA, we say your small business is actually big business, and you've made food business serious business. What has been spurring you on to continue going to the extent that you kept the whole world up and people are watching and talking? And I mean, the first time I heard of, they say Hilda Bass. I said, who is that one? Then they say, oh, go to Twitter, check Instagram, what's happening? And then I went on to, what has been spurring you on to keep going in food, which has not been at the forefront of the conversations when we come to about Africa?
Okay, so I think there are different layers to answering this question, but I'll say the first thing was money, When I started selling food, I've always been, my mom cooked, she trained us cooking, and I happen to be very good at it. And when I started, I'll say maybe because it was what God wanted me to do, the response to it was amazing. And then I started making money from it. And I guess, again, I have a little background in business, so I applied that. My brother was very helpful. I read a few books, and it helped me to price and cost properly, which meant that I was making profits, and I could see a future for the business. I could look out to opening a restaurant and things like that. And eventually, the request to teach people just how to cook, started to increase. But in the process of teaching, I realized that a lot of people don't, in the food sector, it's like we don't have any value for what we do. So we find situations where people are doing business, it's sustainable, but it's not profitable, and they're not costing properly. And I have the ability to do this. And I remember my very first costing class, it was almost like I had opened people's eyes to something that they did not know was possible. So you see a lot of conversations where it's like, how could she have afforded that? And then it just brings to light the fact that people still don't see that there's money in food. They just feel like, oh, if you don't have the funds to make a huge franchise and one very big restaurant, there's no chance that you can make it. And that's not the case. It's just that this information is not being put forward. These lessons are not being put forward. So women just go into business, not just women and men just go into this food business and then they do it like a side hustle. So there's no intent for it to pay for a particular lifestyle or, and that's just because they don't understand. Because again, when you go to business classes and business school, they're not telling you exactly, oh, this is how you're going to cost for your jollof rice and things like that. So it's almost like, oh, we need more, we need like a syllabus that is tailored to, Nigerian cuisine and Nigerian food business. And just being that I have the experience, and obviously I'm still learning, which is one of the things that excites me about being in the business and opening a restaurant and just realizing new things and learning new things, because again, I have more tools to be able to teach, and that can now become, I feel like food is also oil, in Nigeria, just that we haven't realized it, and we just don't understand it yet, so it starts small, but I'll start with myself and start with a few people that I can teach and hold hands and also learn as much as I can.
As oil. Now, Manke, fashion definitely has always been at the forefront when we talk about Africa. Sense of style is different from the world, but your styles are different. London, Lagos, around the world. How do you think that we can use fashion to be at the forefront of the outlook globally?
So I would say at the moment, the world is really looking at Africa, and especially the creative arts is really at the forefront. And for example, you can see in music, entertainment, fashion, and I think fashion, the way we can sort of use fashion to keep telling Africa's story is basically translating it into clothes and making it more interesting and exporting it. So I think it's really important that we keep, so I know that a lot of designers, we kind of look out and sort of try and get inspiration from outside. I think we can use our own inspiration and sort of export that and use that as our currency.
So let's use what is within as our currency to change the world.
Yes.
Now, technology is taking over Africa, taking over the world, yet we are responsible for our own people. Folosho, how can we continue to be more accessible to the world, taking care of our own people, yet the advancement of technology and innovations?
That's a great question. So I think that we are already accessible to the world, if we're being honest. I mean, I'm going to keep saying 70%. You people soon get tired of me, but your youth population is so huge that even without really trying intentionally, you're accessible to the world, because internet has now become something that is accessible to most people, not everyone, obviously. So last week, Friday, I had the benefit of interviewing the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman. Nigeria is the only country in Africa that he has come to on his world tour, because we are the highest adopters, highest users on the entire continent. And he said very close to the highest in the world. This is a tool that many people here might not even have used before, but your youth population, they use it for different things. They are using it to the extent that it is improving their businesses. It is actually going to make some careers extinct. That's the truth. Artificial intelligence and artificial general intelligence will ultimately get to the point where many things will no longer exist, because when you go into the chat and you ask it a question, it will just do it for you, and you don't have to, call certain people to do certain things. So let's all continue to be innovative so that we don't die, all right? But that's a different conversation entirely. I think that we as a continent and as a country need to be very intentional about a few things. Education is a huge one, but I also think that even if we're not intentional about education, the way that things are going with technology, it's getting so, it's almost becoming so accessible to everyone that people are now educating themselves. You find that many young people are educating themselves with things that you and I, or some of us that are not in that age category, might not have. They go on YouTube and they learn. I mean, Hilda teaches classes, I believe, on YouTube. On YouTube. People are learning how to cook. There's so many things that are happening, but I believe that we also need to do it intentionally as well, so that we spread to more people. That's number one. Number two, I think regulation is very, very important. So the world is talking a lot about regulation within the technology space. We can't ignore it in Nigeria. We have to get to that point, because there are risks obviously associated with technology. Technology is one of those things that can be used for the good, the bad, and the ugly. It can be used for everything, So it's really about us being intentional as a country, not to let the Western regulation affect us, but we create our own to suit our purpose. Because once more, remember that there are many things that we can actually do here for ourselves. I mean, out of the 7 unicorn companies, and a unicorn company is a startup that has reached $1 billion valuation, out of 7 of them on the continent, 4 are Nigerian. Out of those 4, 3 were started by people when they were in their youth. Do you understand? They were not older people. So you already have the people, you have the resources, you have it all. It's really about us being intentional. And that's why I love this conversation today, because we're talking about growing ourselves and innovating within. So yeah, thank you.
So thank you very much, Folosho. Looking within for the things that we have. Michael, let me come back to you. You've had opportunities, you've had chances and done a lot of things. The Gabriel Union collaboration is one great one that you've had. How, or what do you think is the role of collaboration between emerging brands, companies, to go even bigger and take the world stage from Africa?
Well, I think if both parties have value in the collaboration, then it will happen. I think it's really important for brands to kind of build their profile, raise awareness by collaborations as one, increasing their distribution worldwide, press, things like that. It's really important to build your profile online and offline. And I think that with that, your business can definitely expand.
I'd like to add something to that.
Sure.
So using UBA, for instance, when you asked that question, it took me back to barter system, back in the day before I was born, where, there was no money exchange. It was more, you have this, I have this, and, let's exchange and let's bring it. I mean, long before now, nobody thought that banks would have YouTube pages where they had content curated for, their intending customers and their already existing customers and just for people generally, right? So it's just coming to a point where you're not looking at everything as a competition. I know you need to compete because, again, you have other, will I call them rivals, but let me even bring it down to like content creators, where a new content creator comes into the market and then they're collaborating with someone that is already, big in that space and has already created a community, right? So it's pretty much what the bank like UBA is doing today with like the what do we call it, with like the YouTube channel where we have, the different, content on there. We have shows, we have cooking shows, we have, series. I attended the premiere of a series that was pretty much put together by the entertainment side of UBA. And before now, that wouldn't have been considered to be, an important, part of it. So definitely collaboration goes a long way in taking us to where we're trying to go. And that's a huge part of innovation, just looking out of yourself and seeing how much value you can give and, what you can get in return.
Thank you very much. And from the way you talk, it looks like you have some insights and a lot about hospitality, space, and all of that. But my question is really to Owen. I mean, you said a few things about what Transcorp is doing. So within the hospitality and infrastructure space, really, what are the things that are setting you apart? And why must we look at Transcorp? We're speaking to the whole of Africa, who have joined us from all over the globe, watching us. What is it for you?
So let me start by saying that what sets us apart? We start first. So on that starting first, I hope to see you in my kitchen very soon. Because we also have, the Abuja people need to benefit from, how many meals did you cook last time? 182 or so, different menus. Thank you for helping me plan my meal for the rest of the year. I don't have to go and do it myself. What sets us apart? We understand that there's that competitive spirit, but we also understand the position that we hold, which is that of a leadership role. Call us trailblazers, if you may. Let me take you back to 2020, when everybody was running helter-skelter. We kept the 677-room hotel open, despite not having customers. Why? We knew that this would pass, because we're not going to continue in that manner. And when we stayed connected with our clientele, as people's fears, in fact, this morning the chairman they said, this kind of thing cannot happen again like that, the way we all locked ourselves. As people start coming back into the real world, they will need that familiarity, that sense of home. And that's exactly what happened. But we also gave people lifelines. Because if you remember, there was a lot of issues with mental health around then. We were the first to launch a drive-through movie. The drive-in movies? We had it in Abuja, and then others followed. We're delivering meals to people's houses because, as you know, by the way, cooking is my passion. No matter how great a cook you are, you get tired of your own food. And sometimes, 𝐀𝐟𝐫𝐢𝐬𝐻 down the road is much more attractive to you. So we continued to do that. And we just keep on thinking, what is that next thing we need to do? How do we reinforce and stand firm on our leadership position to continue to drive? Noting as well that we have quite a lot of goodwill. In 2021, we came into the digital hospitality space. Because if you see, there's one new business. You're in technology, you're in fashion. See, there's a lot of these modular entrepreneurs that are springing up. Now people are getting apartments and they are running mini hotels, quote and unquote. But what you'll find is that there was still some skepticism. This is Africa, this is Nigeria, like, I should go and stay in your house. Do I know who you are so that you slit my neck or something? We looked in here and said the Transcorp Hospitality brand can bring some respectability, some assurance to this budding industry. And if you recall, if you listen to the vice president when he spoke, he talked about this, that Transcorp coming into this space is going to catalyze that industry. And indeed, we have seen it. Because when we came in with our Aura by Transcorp hotels, clearly everybody now realized we can indeed do something around this. And we've created that platform. So basically, what did we do? We've created a platform, willing buyer, willing seller. The willing seller lists his or her apartments on our platform. And the willing buyer who is out there but not quite sure of, can I trust this seller? But the person knows, you know what, and like what you said about brand, I can trust the Transcorp brand because I've experienced them time and time and time and time again, and they have always delivered. So what have we achieved with that? An opportunity to expand and expand very quickly. To interest you to note that beyond our own rooms that we own, through our Aura by Transcorp Hotels, we now have an additional 5,000 rooms and counting. And it's this same mindset that we'll continue to push. I must commend the CEO of the hotel business, Mrs. Dr. Olushola, and her entire team for how they continue to reimagine. We have created a new segment in the market prior to COVID. You know, life is now prior to COVID and after COVID. Yeah. Prior to COVID, you thought of holiday. Everybody was looking at how to travel somewhere. When everywhere was locked, we looked inwards. And through what we're doing at the hotel, we have unlocked a new domestic tourism factor for Nigeria. And we call it, we say the B leisure. Transcorp Hilton used to be a business hotel. But now it's both business and leisure. So it's not just about coming there to strike your deals. Those still happen. We still remain the most important location for business deals to be struck. But what do we do in addition? We understand that you can come in. You have a spa. I mean, we all work so hard. Come into our spa, enjoy yourself, go to the Zuma restaurant, have a good meal, and we continue to innovate. That's what I was just saying to her. It would be very lovely. You know, Abuja, at the Abuja community, they're a wonderful set of people. And I would love to see you in that.
I grew up in Abuja, I agree.
You grew up in Abuja? Yes. Oh, the abroad of Nigeria, as my children say. But it will be nice, because you see, we are a platform. And what we can also do is make it available. So we encourage people further. And indeed, it will be a delight to have, I know, right? Make sure you do it when I'm around. So we can come in and have that to keep on going.
Thank you very much. So, Madam Abila, UBA has many commitments. And, I mean, we heard from the GMD, you've also mentioned about having the most female on the board of a financial services industry, and that's no mean feat. But what's the role of innovation in the bank's constant expansion drive?
Thank you, Henry. You did mention the number of ladies currently on the board. I think that we shouldn't limit it to just that. You can also look at the number of CEOs who are females in UBA. That, for me, I think is very remarkable, and we'll continue to thank the group chairman and the executives. Today, I think that anywhere I go, people want to pose that question to me. That's how can we have, I mean, what is it about UBA? We have over 50% today as females, and we are very grateful to the group chairman on that. For coming from the other side of Africa, I think that being a Ghanaian on the board of the group is an innovation that is remarkable, that speaks for itself. It talks about our Pan-Africanism, and it also talks to the sincerity of the promoters of UBA to touch Africa. It talks about the innovation of the promoters to get Africa together, to connect Africa. I think today, anytime I go out, the last time I was in Guinea, and the central bank deputy governor asked me, "Are you a Nigerian?" "You Nigerian?" I said, "No, I'm not a Nigerian. I'm coming from Ghana." So he said, "Oh, really? Oh, I thought it's only Nigerians who are executives." I said, "No, it's not only Nigerians." And that indeed, so I took him through the number of CEOs that are nationals or African nationals on in another country as CEO. So today, if you talk about Burkina Faso, you'll see that the CEO there is an Ivorian. If you go to Brazzaville, the CEO there is coming from Cameroon. If you go to Cameroon, he's a Nigerian. If you go to, what's the name? DRC, you see that she's a Cameroonian. So I gave him this, and then he said, wow, then you guys are true Pan-Africanist bank. So I think that, I believe that this expansion is not going to stop at this level. We are looking for all opportunities for every African that can stand out and seize the opportunity to be CEOs in any country. And indeed, it has opened opportunities for women. So today, we are leading that positive change to say that, look, women, a girl child should be given the opportunity. I have 2 girls, I have 3 kids, 2 are girls, and I keep telling them, today I'm CEO Africa. And what that means to you is that you can do better than your brother. You can, whatever your brother can do, you can do better. So I can't continue, I can't stop thanking the board of UBA PLC for opening up this. And I believe that it has become an envious position or decision for other Pan-African banks who want to emulate what the group has done. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Innovating the continent for growth is our conversations this morning. If you are online, drop your questions and your comments in our chat session. Use the hashtag UBA Africa Conversations or UBA Innovate Africa, and we will read your questions and your comments to the panelists. So as we wrap up this conversation, I want to send again one round of questions that goes around for all of you. Tell the African brother or sister, that young man, the 70% listening to us today, something that they must remember in this conversation of Innovating Africa that will spare them to the next level of whatever they are doing. Whether they are in school, the opportunities that they look out for, whatever small thing they are starting, what should it be that will drive them to the next level? And let me start with Owen.
Wow, you sure? This is my soapbox moment. But I will try to keep it brief. There's literally no place like Africa. I had a meeting with some foreign investors yesterday, and they asked me why Africa, and I said, why not? Where else can you get the kind of returns that you get in Africa? Mr. Tony Elumelu says, nobody but us can develop, will develop Africa. We have huge opportunities. We have fantastic weather, hardworking people, our very cultural roots. Our foundation is one that is built on mutual respect, generosity. You saw that. Generosity of spirit. Yeah, you have a few people here and there, but that's okay. It's the norm. And you just have a continent that indeed we still have a lot of untapped opportunities. So when I hear people say competition, competitors, I say, what are you talking about? In business school, they tell you blue ocean strategy, red ocean. Our ocean is far from red because there's still so many. If we look at banking, they tell you about the unbanked. We see fintech companies springing up today. Why are they springing up? Because there is an opportunity. And I want to say to the young African listening, by the way, I still consider myself a young African, just to let you know. But I want to say to you that truly, Africa is the place to be. But you should understand something. Whilst we've been brought up, we've been told that the world is your oyster. Please note, nobody's going to give it to you on a platter of gold. You will work hard. You will have a vision. You will discipline yourself. You will learn. And today, I say without apology, there's only a lazy person that is ignorant today. Because data has been so modulated that you can, 200 naira, you have access. Instead of using it for some, well, let's stay there. Use it to learn. Use it to connect. And continue to understand something. You own your destiny. You control your fate. It's not going to be easy. It's never been easy for anybody. But what you should keep in mind is, this is Africa. You are African. Your passport, forget any second passport, your passport is African. East or west, home is best. You will control your destiny. You will work hard, and you will grow, and your growth is one that will be remembered. Nobody will call you Nigerian born, or no, British born Nigerian, American born Nigerian. You will be a Nigerian, a Ghanaian, Togolese, South African, but at the end of the day, you are African developing Africa. Thank you.
You control your destiny and you own your faith. Felicia.
I was so sure you were going to go like this. Okay, so I think, so you said to young Africans,
Yes.
right? People like Owen.
Yes.
And her peeps. All of us, we're all young. Honestly, yeah,
Claim it.
we're claiming it.
Yes.
Honestly, I think that Owen said a lot of very important things, especially around just owning your destiny. There is so much available because of technology. You know, I keep saying that Gen Zs, Gen Alphas, the millennials, all millennials actually, well, maybe half, were born in a time where, so we've had different advancements and different eras. We've had industrial revolution, agricultural, we're in the digital age. Use it, as in, don't let technology scare you. You must leverage it. There are so many careers, I'm telling you, 5, 10 years, they will be gone. And they have the opportunity, because they were born in this age, to understand it from day one, right? So things that some of us might, you know, we have to learn, we have to struggle. Let me give you an example. I got a computer science degree, and I graduated in 2002. My computer science degree is as ancient as ancient, because it's so, as in, because every single thing I learned is like, my children code in seconds. The code that I used to sit down in computer lab, scratching my head for, trying to figure out what's the error in my code so that it will run. My girls are doing it in minutes because of technology, right? And that is the advancement. There's nothing that is current today that's going to be current even tomorrow, right? We're literally living the present each and every single day because of technology. And that's why it's important for young people who are already in this time, born in this time, to leverage it. Leverage it, love it, embrace it, use your money to learn. Because the other thing that I've also noticed is that, so with content creation, like you were talking about, which is a career that did not exist when you and I were in university. Well, did it exist? It did not. Content creation is so big now, and because of AI, content creators are making so much more money because they go on there and they get content in seconds. In fact, I'll give some people here expo after. If you want to create content and you want to get some stuff done, you don't need to pay anybody. You can do it yourself because of artificial intelligence. And so for me, young people, listen, Africa, we have, continent-wise, it's about 60% youth. Nigeria is about 70%. We have all the resources that we need. What we need is to focus. We need to leverage the benefit of technology, and we need to constantly remember that nobody is going to provide our solutions for us. We will do it ourselves. I already gave you the example of the unicorns on the continent. So let's all remember that. Thank you.
Focus and leverage the opportunities that exist in Africa. Yes, be disciplined as you do that. Okay, so Panke, I mean, you've been London, Lagos, around, and seen quite a bit of things. From all the things that young businesses are doing, what is it for you that would make them, you know, sprout from what they are doing?
I think patience is one, definitely. I think consistency. You have to continue to, even if every day you're just doing one, you have to keep on doing, because I think people have to see you like 3 times for them to remember you. Yeah. And I think, you know, for me, I tell African stories through my prints and my textiles. So, and there's so much importance to that because the whole world is looking at Africa and they love the creative arts, they love our culture. So it's so important that we keep telling our own stories and not letting other people tell our stories. So I think, yeah, so those are the things really.
See you, Africa.
Yes.
You seem to have had it, DMD, CEO Ghana, first female CEO, our CEO. I mean, it's easy now. I mean, it was pretty cool running there.
Okay, thank you. My message to the youth out there, because I'm a woman, I want to tell the girl child out there that the ceiling is broken. It's no longer an excuse. Those excuses of my mother's moment, my grandmother's moment, is the boy child who is not allowing me, is my boss, it's no longer tenable. The ceiling is broken, but for the youth of today, we need to seize opportunity. I think most of the time you see that they let go. We are too much in a hurry. Chairman mentioned discipline. That is actually the great 70% of the ingredient. You need to be patient, and then the learning continues. It's not just finish it today, tomorrow you want to be the CEO. No, it's continuous learning. It's consistency. You just keep moving and be determined to see result. You've got to see the result of tomorrow today. Then you can start moving towards that result. If we can plan it that way, you see first, you seize the opportunity, you strategize on it, and then you move in that consistent manner. That, if we do that continuously in Africa, and like my sister said, we need to see. We are not seeing. So the youth must see and then be consistent to achieve it. Thank you.
So, someone once said that success is defined by preparation waiting for opportunity. So the opportunities are there. Are you prepared? AI, technology. Hilda, what have you got for us?
I don't want to sound like a mom, but you need to read. Honestly, I think mindset is where your mind is. Your mind is a tool, and is a very strong tool. And if you don't train your mind, it can work against you. Our minds work against us every day. But we need to understand what's going on in there. And to be able to understand that, you need to read. You need to improve. And when I say read, I'm not saying mathematics. You need to read consciousness-expanding books. You need to read about the field that you find yourself. Okay, you don't have the money to go to business school. Get books on business and read. Like, it's important to understand that everybody feels like, oh, once we start a business, we just open Instagram and we just put the content on there, and we're constantly thinking of nice content to put out there. But no, it goes way beyond that. Because again, if you have the audience and you don't know what to do with it, you would be popular with no money. And without money, I don't know how you're going to be, So it's important that you read. You need to read. You need to improve your mind constantly. I think my brother is constantly like advocating for young people to read more. I feel like the older generation read more. And we do this all the time where we say, oh, people are not going to read. You can't put the information in the caption. You need the information in the video, but that's something that needs to change. That's a problem in itself. And we need to read. We need to be ready to look at the letters, because there's so much in there that would help us improve our minds. And once our minds are improved, it helps with dedication and consistency and just everything else.
A round of applause for our wonderful panel. I'm very confident that we've seen the power and potential that exists in Africa. I mean, we have limitless opportunities. And if we seize the moment, we will be able to make an impact in ourselves, in our lives, in the lives of our families and people around us. I ask you to drop your questions. Are your questions ready? Omede.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Henry. Thank you. So we're going to take questions. Our online viewers, drop your questions in the chat box. Hashtag, do not forget, UBA Conversations and UBA Africa. For those of us in the hall, if you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll come over to you, hand over the mic to you, and you're free to ask a question. Henry, well done. A panelist, thumbs up to you all. A round of applause to them once again. Thank you. So do we have a question from the audience? You tell us your name, what you do, your organization, and...
Thank you very much. My name is 𝐂𝐞𝐥𝐞𝐥𝐞. I came in all the way from Ibadan. We publish Parrot Extra magazine, Parrot Extra, the biggest radio station in Ibadan, Splash FM. We also run the online version. I want to ask, because I came in late, I'm sorry. Everything we've been discussing, since you've been discussing, you did not factor in the issue of governance, good governance that will create the necessary environment, enabling environment. Africa is the best place to be, but our government have been killing us small, small, small. Please tell us what we want to do. Thank you.
So you want to add a few questions and then we'll take them together? Okay, while we wait for others and the online questions, See You Africa, you want to take that?
Yes, so do we have another question again?
Yes.
We are bankers, and so I think that for us in UBA, what I know best is the kind of partnership that we are having with the various governments across Africa to ensure that, one, we impact the life of the people in Africa, and like he said, to make sure that Africa becomes the best place. So yes, we may want to look at leadership in another light, but there are quite a number of opportunities out there that we can do. A lot of our colleagues have been talking about entrepreneurship. So I think that looking at all the collaborations that we are giving, we have marketplace across that we do, where we bring SMEs together. We have Tony Lumelu Foundation that the banks collaborate with to make sure that we bring opportunity to our people. So I will continue to say that let's not look at the negatives. We can change the narrative with a lot of the positive things that are happening across Africa. Quite a number of people speak to me and I tell them, have you been to this platform? Why don't you use it? I remember talking to a group of Ghanaians. 3 out of the ones I spoke to are currently, they won the entrepreneurship, the TF. So today they have their own businesses. So for the gentleman, what I would say is that let's not use just the negative narrative. Let's continue to look positively. There are a lot of brilliant opportunities out there. Look on the ground, pick the one you can pick and run with it. Do not stop, keep moving. That is the word in life. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Owen wants to add something, Omede, before you continue. Owen?
So, as a very faithful student of the Tony Elumelu Foundation, hi Somachi, we have our gorgeous CEO there. The principle of Afri-capitalism explains properly the interplay between the private sector and the public sector. The government's job is to create an enabling environment for the private sector to thrive. And in return, I think private sector will also supporters, enablers of the government. But I want to pick on something Abiola just said. Indeed, we still have the room for improvement is the largest room in the world. I believe that's what everybody says. But I would also urge that we also amplify our successes. We amplify the growth, the progress that we've had, so that we continue to keep that which is necessary for one to wake up every day. Keep hope alive. I was once the Chief Operating Officer of the Tony Elumelu Foundation, and nothing gave me greater joy than on March 22nd every year, those days when we made those announcements. And you see people saying, this person did not know me from anywhere, but he took a chance on me. He believed in me, and by believing in me, I believed in myself. Even those who were not chosen, this was their testimony. I believe all of us here, we're familiar with Michael Jackson, right? Yeah. Remember that his song, The Man in the Mirror? In your quiet time, please reflect on the lyrics of that song. They say if you want to change the world, take a look in the mirror and change yourself. That is how we will fix Africa. All of us being a part of the change. Thank you.
We'll go online and take some online questions. Susan, over to you. Read out the online questions. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies, for these insightful conversations we've been having. We have a couple of questions here. The first one is from Jibril Kenfak, who is a journalist from Cameroon. He says, actually, African countries are engaged in the industrialization process to catch up with the development issues. How can the private sector notably UBA, sustain women initiatives on this industrial segment?
I think this question is directly to us, to me. The gentleman who asked the question can speak to the CEO of UBA. We are in Cameroon. But one thing we are doing well in Africa today is on our products. We have quite a number of products for SMEs, where women are currently about 70 to 80% dominant in the SME sector. And we are doing that. In UBA today, we have what we call the temporary overdraft that has no security. I don't know of any bank that has a product that lends to women without collateral. I don't know, but we do in UBA. So I think we should give a round of applause to UBA. We do that. Apart from that, we had a particular product for women called the Ruby Woman, where we even went outside. It's not just a normal current account. If you remember, we created platform for women to interact. I have quite a number of highly net worth women who are on that platform, from the deputy governors to all of them are on that platform, and we do interact. And so I think that in UBA, we have promoted the cause of women in great ways.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. A round of applause for panelists. Thank you so much. So many questions to ask, but we'll have to honor our panelists with another round of applause and say thank you. As we also call our Group Deputy Managing Director for the closing remarks. Our panelists, please remain on your seats. We're going to have a photo session just after this. 𝐂𝐞𝐥𝐞𝐥𝐞𝐥𝐿, it's your time. Thank you, sir.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. And let me first of all appreciate Chairman and the CEOs here present and the directors as well. I think it's been a wonderful session. It's been quite a wonderful and a late revealing session for me. And you know, as we all spoke about the things we're going to speak to, it reminded me of the 4 things that you look after when you talk about innovation. I mean, you spoke about the context, you spoke about the culture of Africa and youth and what we can do, and you spoke about collaboration across that you had to use. And you know, looking at all of that, these are things that I believe the African youth we should take into consideration. Now, it reminds me. Since Owen has said that we are part of the youth, well, you know, Owen and I, we're in the same age group. Alex as well. So we're in the same age group conversation. So we, as part of the youth, we have to look at that. But one thing that reminds me about when we spoke about innovation, I looked back and I asked myself, how did Standard Trust and UBA innovate itself? You know, because when you look at innovation, it's all about creating a new idea that would generate or create value for your customers and your shareholders, right? So when we started out in Standard Trust Bank and we moved into going into all the state capitals, which was not the foray of most banks, it's been some... No, it's 1998, 25 years plus. So when you think back then, like you were saying, all right? Yeah, when you said, I mean, things that you learned in school is now becoming ancient of ancient. It reminded me of those things that we used to do. I think at that point in time, we had 2 ATMs. And I remember we also bought 3 ATMs in Standard Trust Bank. It didn't work for a while, Bull technology. We kept it under the staircase, and I think we even sanctioned the person who went to go and buy the ATMs. But today, the conversation I had earlier this morning was to see how to improve 3,000 ATMs of UBA Nigeria. So things have really changed. And now we're moving beyond ATMs. We're talking about mobile solutions and other provisions that we can give to our customers. But, I mean, given is given and all that. So I'm just saying it's been a wonderful session. I'd like to thank each one of you. Let me start with the speaker, my good friend Akwaba, and then that amala, don't worry, it's one of the dishes that she also prepared. And you'll be invited to Amore Garden to have some lunch sometime. Don't worry. And our group CEO, on this trip, no, maybe not this, when he goes to Abuja. When he goes to Abuja, he has to go to Abuja, Chairman. All right. And then also Owen, our group CEO for Transcorp Group, thank you so very much. And you know, when we spoke about innovation, infrastructure is key to innovate anything. You need infrastructure. She also spoke about hospitality as well. And spoke about changing lives, right? Transforming lives and be leisure. Thank you so very much, Owen, for the good delivery. And I mean, I couldn't just, it was myself and Oliver were speaking about about her and how she resembles. Where's Clara? Where's Clara? Claire. So, yes, Clara, yes. The same mannerism and everything, fashionista as well she is. And we're saying to ourselves, yeah, where is she? Okay. So thank you so very much for the insights. And I think fashion is something Africans are known for as well. And if you look at Africa, we have 2,000 languages in Africa, 54 countries. We are fashionable. Africans are fashionable. I mean, if you look at the collection of the bankers here and the audience here, even the panelists are fashionable. When each time chairman goes abroad, they always ask him, are you a banker or a fashion? You know, so we know fashion in Africa, and I think the way you projected fashion across Africa and intercontinental is also good. And the collaboration, which is also very key to innovation, is also great. Thank you so very much. And, you know, I can't just stop thinking about all you said about how you study computer engineering. And I'm asking myself, my accounting has gone, obviously AI has taken over my accounting. Ugo, very soon we may not have ChatGPT and all. I mean, it's taking over what we do. I'd like to thank you for the insights, and I think I like the passion you have. And you said you are the Chief Encouragement Officer. So I was asking Oliver whether he would change his own. Well, we have a Chief Happiness Officer. That's Alex. So we'll look for one for Oliver as well. But the choice will now be between the profitability and then the execution. I think a Chief Execution Officer will be more appropriate for Oliver. Your Chief Encouragement Officer is great. Great listening to you, and I'm quite inspired by what you're doing. And let me also thank latest Guinness World Record holder, Hilda. I mean, it's so amazing. 100 hours on your feet, 140 dishes. It's amazing. So you're giving us, those of us who are married men, some reason to ask our, yes. When they say they are tired of cooking, you ask them that Hilda cooked for 4 days. Why are you tired? Abella, is that not correct? So if a lady can cook for 4 days, I'm shaking the table. Anyway, let me just thank you because it couldn't have been done if you didn't have the tenacity, the discipline, and the passion as well. I was just getting there. And then, you know, when you aim for something, and you're fully geared towards it. It's called grit. Nothing is impossible. You actually remind me of an event that Chairman and I attended earlier this week, right? I'm sure you know about the petrochemical plant for Dangote. Who would have believed we would have such a thing in Africa? 10 years ago, I mean, quite a number of people were there to celebrate today, but people forgot 10 years ago how it started. The residents didn't want to site the plant there. Very few banks want to participate in it. And so many other things, but today we're all there applauding that man for his grit. I mean, so you did something fantastic for Africa, not only for Nigeria, but Africa. I'm sure some of those dishes are not just Nigerian dishes. You had Ghana jollof, where is he? Ghana jollof rice there, or kelewele and some, and a few others. And my very able Abiola first in the series. You've broken the glass ceiling, like you said, for the girl child across Africa. We thank you for today. We thank you for being a predecessor. It's not always easy to break the glass ceiling. Where UBA broke the glass ceiling to having the first 1 billion naira deposit, it wasn't easy. It took a lot, and we're going to break on that glass ceiling again on behalf of... Chairman, let me wait before it becomes another NPR. You know, between chairman and GM, I don't know which any opportunity. So thank you so very much, Abiola, for what you're doing and for leading the pack and you for setting the pace as well. We feel your passion and we feel your commitment across. And not only is she the first CEO, female CEO for UBA Africa as well, I think you're also the first non-Nigerian exec director on the board of UBA Group. Well, as an African, you know, before now we had non-Africans, but from Ghana. And so that's I would like to thank each and every one of you for, yes, sir.
Let me also say, as we show appreciation, thank the GMD for his wonderful speech that set the tone for today. Well done, GMD. And our DMD, I didn't know you were such an orator. Thank you for adding more color and life to everything. And I like how you singly identified and commended everyone. But most importantly, I want to thank someone in absentia, Mrs. Bola Atta. Bola Atta, to a large extent, started running with this UBA Africa initiative, UBA Africa Day. And against all tribulations and discouragement and no, Bola, this thing doesn't make sense, she persevered. And today, which is also important for success in business, entrepreneurship, perseverance, tenacity, one of you mentioned tenacity. Let me thank Alero. You know, when they hand over the baton to you, taking the baton and running with it is also important. And then Uzo, Tola, Femi, and every other person, I might not remember your names, all of you who made this possible. But, you know, it comes from the heart, and I speak on behalf of the board on this. This is one event management on their own started and finished everything. And we used to do online UBA Africa Day, and we invite all the big global citizens. But this time they said, no, they want to do it differently. And we said, okay, let's watch you. So some of us came here to watch and see. But we have come and we are convinced and we're impressed. So Vet, thank you to you and your team. GMD, thank you for creating the platform, and the worthy DMD, well done. Thank you. Congratulations.
All right. I forgot to also mention Lady as well. All right. Thank you so very much for the spoken words about the passion of Africa. Huh? I be quick. Okay. And as I hand over the baton to my predecessor, Mr. Omede, a great guy.
Thank you, sir. It's time for my boss, Rabbi Nasir, as he leads us in the photo session. Rabbi Nasir is the head Media and External Relations UBA Group. Thank you very much.
So, Omede, as Ramon comes out for the photographs, I'm happy to let all of you know that we are trending at number 3 in Nigeria, trending number 5 in Ghana. So, number 2 in Nigeria now. Okay, so we move on to number 2. We want to get to number 1. So let's keep the conversations going. If you haven't tweeted yet, you haven't pushed it, reshare, retweet, put something about UBA Africa Conversations 2023, and let's make it to number 1 across continent. Yes. So thank you all very much. Ramon, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Eri. And you know, my own job is the easiest. It's the easiest. And Chairman, we will start with the panelists. Please, can you stand up? Please. This should be the middle, right? Please. Eri, please step aside. Yes, we have taken Eri. Okay. Okay, only Phil, yes. Please, Chairman and the Group Managing Director, can you join? Yes.
Africa.
present, please kindly join. Take a step back. The newly minted Group Head Marketing and Public Communications, please kindly join. Hello, Samson, you need to join. Okay, are we good? Please, be quiet. And Billy. Billy, please, can we push? Can we push?
Mangez beaucoup. Oh, Africa, c'est ça son fort. Mangez beaucoup. Dansez beaucoup. Oh, Africa. Amérique ou la Banajanya, visa ta sorona.
Okay. Are we fine?
Yewala Mandela leve. Johannesburg, le